Yeah, it just came out fully formed, and I was like, I don't write poems. Like, when was the last time I wrote a poem? It might have been like roses are red, violets are blue, right?
Right.
But I knew enough to know it's a good poem. He suggested I turn this poem into, that I go get it illustrated and turn it into a speech. A book and a speech. We're speakers, right? And so he's a speaker, and so that's how we see the world, like turn it into speech. But I knew that like speech equals book, kind of.
Right.
But then she's like, the time is now, I'm ready. That's a really empowering, you know, she's climbing the hill thinking, the time is now, I'm ready. Hey there, superstar. We are here with Leanne Marie Webster, and we are going to turn the tables just a little bit, and she's going to interview me about my new project. So this is Leanne Webster, in case you don't know her, although, you know, I imagine you've seen many of our other videos together. And she's my client from the last 8 years. She's also a motivational speaker. She's got a one-woman show called Fancy Meeting Me Here that's going to be coming out next year. Welcome, Leanne.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be on this side, so to speak.
Oh, maybe we should switch sides. No, I'm just kidding. We're good. We're good. We're good.
Okay. I'm so excited to be on this side because I want to hear, I know you have a new project that you're putting together that is beautiful and amazing, and I love it. And I want you to just tell us, first of all, just tell us what is it? Like, what is it that you're creating?
So I am publishing a book. It's not just any book, and I've always wanted to publish a book, but I always thought it would be like a business book. But what this is, it's actually well, here it is. I've got my proof of it. Let me show you. It's a picture book. It's right now, the title is, it's going to change, but here it says, a children's book for dreamers of all ages. But I want to fly, a children's book for dreamers of all ages. And so it is going to change, I think, to an adventure for dreamers of all ages, I think. So we'll see. Okay. So it's almost ready, but clearly I have not sent it to the printer yet. This is just a proof. But it's a 48-page rhyming poem that I turned into a book. I hired an illustrator and I turned it into this book, and I'm really excited about it. I'm proud of it.
And so we're gonna get to like what it's about and all that stuff. But before we get there, I just want to know, like, why? Why did you create this? What prompted you to make this book?
It's so funny. I mean, it feels now somewhat divinely orchestrated. In hindsight, I mean, in the moment though, I woke up in the middle of the night, like 4 a.m. in March of 2021, and I had this little song in my dream that I couldn't get out of my head. And I woke up and I tried to go back to sleep, but I couldn't. I finally decided to get up and write it down. And it was a couple of lines that are in here because I wrote it down and then I kept writing. For like 2 hours, I wrote this poem.
Wow.
A rhyming poem. It just like all the way through, fully formed.
Wow.
As Elizabeth Gilbert says in the book Big Magic. Yeah, it just came out fully formed, and I was like, I don't write poems. Like, when was the last time I wrote a poem? It might have been like roses are red, violets are blue, right?
Right.
But I knew enough to know it's a good poem. It's a poem I'd read, like, and I wouldn't read most poems. I'm not into poetry, truth be told. But I did love Shel Silverstein when I was little, and I did love Dr. Seuss when I was little, and this felt like that. This felt like it's that, you know, this Dr. Seuss and Shel Silverstein, you know, had a baby. Maybe it would be this with a little bit of a touch of Avatar.
Yes.
And so I got up, wrote it down, and that's it. You know, shared it with a few people. I might have shared it with you. And then was just like, okay, nice thing that I did. And then a few months later, I was on the phone with a colleague, and this is kind of back to our earlier conversation about the power of having people around you who see when you don't see. I was talking to a colleague, long story very short. He suggested I turn this poem that I go get it illustrated and turn it into a speech, a book and a speech. We're speakers, right? And so he's a speaker, and so that's how we see the world, like turn it into speech. But I knew that like speech equals book, kind of. Right. So I decided to go, I said, well, let me go on Upwork.com, which I usually use to like, hire a virtual assistant or marketing person or something like that. And I said, well, are there any illustrators out there that could do justice to my amazing poem? And I found so many.
Wow.
I found so many artists, incredible artists, including the one that ultimately illustrated the book. So I hired her, and you know, we just collaborated on it. It was really a collaboration because what I sent to her, and I still have it, was a PowerPoint, because I'm a speaker. I think in PowerPoint.
Right.
It's a PowerPoint deck of like scenes. Like, you know, and some of them were blank. Some were like, I have no idea what the scene could be. You do you, you know? And then there was someone where I had a really clear idea. I want to, you know, from behind so that you can see the horizon in front of her. Like, there were some times where I was really clear. Like, in one picture, actually, I don't know if I'm getting too deep into this right now, but is this scene from the book.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You see this particular one? And I'll show you some other pages too.
Okay.
But this one, this is the line here is, she checked, this is the line. This is the line from my dream.
Wow.
That's funny. That we ended up here.
We totally did not plan that.
She checked her wings one more time. Will they hold me steady? Then grabbed her gear and climbed the hill. The time is now. I'm ready. Wow. And so this picture, I wanted it to be, I had a memory of an image of Jesus carrying the cross, silhouetted against the sun. Yeah. And I was like, I wanted to have that resonance. It's not about being, it's not a religious book in any by any stretch, but that scene of carrying the burden and like up, you know? Yeah. And what I love about it, now that we've had all these conversations today, is like, it's the positive chatter. Like, she's not telling herself, you know, am I good enough? She's like, okay, are my wings going to hold me steady? That's a fair question if you're going to do this. But then she's like, the time is now. I'm ready. That's a really empowering, you know, she's climbing the hill thinking, the time is now. I'm ready. Yeah. You know, like that's good self-talk.
Love it. Michelle, thank you for sharing this with us, for creating this, and for I don't know, putting some more beauty out into the world.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And thank you all for being here.
I want people to feel inspired to tap back into their truest self, their truest, deepest desires and dreams, to let go of anything in the past that would have them believe it's impossible, and to start to move in the direction of those dreams and to actually do something.